Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from NIGHTCARVER Designs. And today on the show, I have Christy from Oh Hello There and Annette from 513 Woodworking. These two are so awesome. We had a blast chatting, and I definitely think we could do a part 2 with the way the conversation was flowing. So I hope you enjoy. Please be sure to share this podcast, share your opinions on episodes that you love, spread the word. Let's get this bad boy out there more. I appreciate any help that you can do to help that out. All right, now on with the show.
Welding's coming along. I spent the whole weekend welding actually, and it was great because like something finally clicked.
Yeah.
Because like I tried to learn and I've like attempted welding before, mostly flux core stuff, and like I was doing something, but like I was just doing it. I don't think I got it. I probably couldn't have adjusted the machine and like looked at a weld and gone, oh, there's too much heat, or there's blah blah blah,
Right,
or whatever,
yeah, like,
right? And like make those adjustments. And like this weekend, the guy who was like teaching the class, I was finally like, I don't know what he said, but I was like, I think I get it.
It's probably like you did it long enough that you've realized like what he's saying, like you could actually follow along with it. You know what I mean?
That's probably part of it too. Because like the first couple of times, like just trying to do it without really having any reference to what they're saying. I'm like, look at the puddle. I'm like, what puddle? I don't know. I'm like, okay. But this time I was like, oh, okay, I see. I get it.
Hello.
Oh, hello there.
Hi. Oh, yes. Oh, hello there. Is right.
Do you like what we did there? See that? Oh.
She's like, I'm not connected to audio yet.
I know. I think she can hear us. I thought I saw a smile, but
I saw a smile, but it could just be because of our faces.
Could be. Could be.
I can hear everyone now.
There we go. That's a cup. My goodness.
Say that cup just kept coming as she lifted it.
I know. Oh no.
It's because I don't know how much water I'm supposed to drink, and I know that this seems like a lot, and it's probably as much as I'm supposed to drink.
I like it. She's just like, I'm going in all day. This one mug.
I'm gonna pee all the time, which means I won't have time for anyone's shit.
I like that approach.
How are you, ladies?
Right.
Good.
How are you?
So I got the flu on April 15th. I remember.
Very specific.
Like,
yeah.
And then like I remember going to bed and I'm like, it's just getting worse, and the cough has not gone away, and it's making me mad.
That was like me after workbench. I swear I was sick for like the whole month. I was just like, it won't go away. I'm so exhausted.
I did not get sick from workbench, but like I did have that sore throat just from talking so much, from not talking at all. And I went to that festival event, and that's what got me the flu. And I'm like, who did it? Because it has messed up my whole schedule, and I'm so mad.
Oh no. 3 weeks is a long time for a cough to linger, eh?
I know. So I was talking to my girlfriend, my best friend's a doctor, and so she's all like, it's the last thing to go, and it'll probably stay for like up to 2 months. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because that's not cool.
Unacceptable.
Anyways. Ricola.
Nice.
She came prepared. She knows. She's like, I'm going to forewarn you. I will
and then
cough.
I've got like this. Yeah, I got it all.
Oh, nice.
I got it.
Okay. And don't forget the massive like tank of water behind you.
My favorite person who actually brings snacks every time she's on the show is Morgan from Captain Planks. She had like a whole fruit platter at one time.
She had a charcuterie board set up.
Another time it was just like a pile of Reese's peanut butter cups. It was great. And she just kept popping them in her mouth. I'm like, God.
Nice. Yes. See, I can't keep stuff like that in my house. I just can't.
I mean, same. Like, it's got to be limited. Once Halloween's bad for me, I eat every peanut butter cup. Every.
I spy your little Super Mario Brother thing in the background.
Oh yeah, he staged definitely. She called me out on it. She was nice staging. I'm like,
it looks so good.
Thank you.
It's not even done yet. She has more color and more like,
that's
life
just
to
the
give
base
it.
coats right now. Yeah, I'm excited too. Like,
oh my God, it came out so good though.
Thank you. That was my goal today. I was like, I will get this thing base coated so it looks cool back there. Like I want to have it.
Nice.
There.
Go you.
Is it
Thank
heavy?
You. It's yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. The base is definitely heavier. It's just solid brick, but she's got some weight to her.
So cute. I dressed up as Waluigi once for
we saw that when we were strolling.
And they're like, no one else dressed up. And I was like, okay.
No one. Oh, jeez.
It's just the kids. It was a kid's birthday party and only the little kids dressed up. And I was like, all right, guess I'm the only adult here.
The most fun adult at the party, though. Like, seriously.
Like, we're going to go karaoke, Chrissy. And I was like this.
So did you go?
I did.
Oh, there you go. Hey. That's funny.
Whatever.
Hey.
Literally, we were saying when we were like hanging out before, like you just seem like you're a good time when you go out. Like you just have like this great energy about you. So I could see you pulling that Waluigi off.
It was, I mean, you're going to go to a Mario themed birthday party. Hello.
Fair.
Finally, someone did come in as Donkey Kong, so that was nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I don't feel too alone. I'll hang out with kids.
That's funny. You could have passed as like the entertainment for the party or something.
I know. I mean, I'm the size of a 12-year-old, so it didn't really matter.
Just blended right in.
I know, just
the kids.
Same height.
Nice.
So what new fun projects are you guys working on? Besides,
I say I'm trying to finish him up. He's due to be done by next Monday, so I have a deadline on him, and I actually want to get him done tomorrow if I can, so I can start filming. I've been trying to be good about filming like 2 days before my due dates, you know?
That's good.
It's tough though, because it's a live carving contest, so I'm doing it while I'm filming it. So
okay. What was this a contest? I didn't realize this was a contest piece.
This is a contest, and there's still 1 week left. So with Sabretooth, actually at Makers Camp, we had a $500 prize pack. We were giving them out every carving contest, and we actually didn't do one of the contests. So I have a pack left, and I was like, hey, we still have all those burrs just hanging out in my garage. I'm like, let's give them away. Let's have some fun. So we're doing a carving contest. It's no bigger than 2 foot by 2 foot is like the rule, really. Okay. And that's it. And then the theme is what grows in the garden. And then it's open to interpretation. So I said, that's my, my comic book garden or my video game garden. And then somebody else made a like skeleton hand coming out of the grass, which I thought was funny. Because I told him, I'm like, it's open to interpretation. And another person's making a flower, like the man-eating flower from Jumanji.
Ooh,
so
that's
like
pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's really neat.
People have such creative ideas. I would never have come up with any of that.
I love the different interpretations because it could like growing out of your garden, like I don't know what I would do. Weeds. Oh, there's a lot of weeds.
That's a lot of people said all of my garden grows is weeds. Like, is that what I can carve?
You know what happened one time? So my tomato plant died, and then I tried to bring it back to life, and I saw a little sprout, and I was like, oh my God, yes. So I was watering it and like helping it grow, putting it in the sun, putting fertilizer on it. And then it wasn't until it was about yay tall that I realized it was not a tomato. It was just a giant weed that was growing in it. And I was carrying a potted weed, and I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? I spent like a month taking care of this potted plant.
That's fantastic.
I was so mad.
But in the end, it was a weed.
I know.
She's just like waiting for it to start sprouting something.
Nothing.
So some evidence of life.
No, nothing. I was so mad. I was like, well,
That's too funny.
toss it.
I feel like weeds are easier to pull when they get a little bit bigger. So like sometimes I'll just let them grow. Maybe that's just me being lazy. I'll just let them grow a little bit and then go pluck them.
There's so many out there. And I'm like trying to be mindful because I was like, oh, there's ladybugs and they eat the fleas. And so I'm like, gently plucking them. And I see all like my neighbors, gardeners, and they're just looking at me like, just mow the whole lot.
That's funny.
Anyways.
Didn't you have like, I think you had a story the other day where like some neighbor of yours apparently could see you from like their porch and you didn't know that this whole time?
I thought I was being seen. I was literally like drinking my water and I was like looking at what my neighbor was doing, like being the nosy neighbor. And then he looks at me from across the street on his patio and he's like, and I was like, oh no.
That's terrifying.
It was terrifying. I was asking Mary Lou because she put those
the reflectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did you get those again? Because I kind of need to do it to all my windows now. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Well, warning, she says if your room is brighter than it is outside, they can see in again. So it's not foolproof.
Interesting.
Yes,
so
at night.
It was so frightening. I was all like, no one can see me. I'm on top of the world. No.
Is this at least a neighbor you've like talked to and you hang out with?
It's just like one of those like, hey, and then like do your own thing. Yeah. I think I would be more embarrassed if it was a neighbor that like I talked to. Because that would just be, I would be like, question, did I wear pants today?
Yes.
You think through every time you've like quickly run across to the kitchen or whatever, exactly. Like with like, oh crap. Oh man.
So frightening.
That's fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
anyway.
It was funny when we were going through your page and stuff. I noticed I said that you started making stuff later in life, but like, have you been DIYing and creating like all your life, or is that something you found later in life?
I remember it was so funny because I remember when I was a child, I used to make my own doll clothes. And like I couldn't sew, so I was just like hand sewing. It was the shittiest looking dress ever, but I was so proud because I made it myself. And my mom and dad both know how to sew, and so they would teach me how to do it along the way. And then, but I always told myself I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor for children. I wanted to be a pediatrician or a mermaid. One of the two.
One of those.
One of the two.
Totally normal.
Exactly. I have a story to go why I wanted to be a mermaid.
Can't wait.
There was a legitimate reason. But anyways, I ended up actually going to fashion school. And then I went into actually apparel manufacturing. But it was more learning to do DIY mainly because I grew up poor. And so it was out of necessity of like fixing everything. And my dad was very much like one of those hold my beer, I can fix that. So that's kind of where I got into it. But it wasn't until I want to say 2020 when everything shut down. And I was like, well, I have time. Let's see what I can do. But it was a lot of more like learning how to do something, but also at the same time, I don't know why I wanted to add more challenges on top of it. It was like learning how to do something, but only with what I have in front of me. And so it was like random scraps here and there. So I love like the free dollar challenges because I don't want to be wasteful.
I'm 100% with you. I love using found wood or like wood I can get for cheap. Like this whole piranha plant, I got wood out of a lumber yard. They were cutoffs. It was like fill the back of your car for $25 and grab all our scrap or it's gonna get burned. Like so then you turn it into something, like it's fun.
But the whole mermaid thing.
Yes, let's hear about the mermaid.
Circle back to that.
Let's bring it back.
The mermaid thing was, I found out I was adopted when I was 6 years old, and I was left on a doorstep. And so this whole time, I thought that I was left on a doorstep by a mermaid, and that I would turn into a mermaid later. Because I saw Splash, and she would turn into a mermaid. I was going to
say it must have been Splash, but I wasn't sure. Daryl Hannah got you.
Oh, yeah. My mom was so mad when I used up her salt into the tub. She was so pissed. And I was sad that I didn't turn into a mermaid. And I just thought that maybe later on it was just too early at that stage. And then it never came. And I was like, okay, Christy, backup plan.
I have no idea what Splash is. I assume it's a movie of some sort. But I'm filling in the blanks here and following along.
Daryl Hannah.
Tom
Hanks. And it was like she was a mermaid. And she fell. It was like basically like The Little Mermaid. And she like goes on land. And when she hits land, she like
naturally she gets legs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she has she has to touch seawater or salt water in order for her to become a mermaid.
Okay, I was wondering where the salt in the bathtub.
Oh yeah, I just like played in the bathtub and I was like this, waiting for it to come. It never came.
That's awesome. Okay, mermaid. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's actually a maybe the origins of it is not rational, but it's a rational train of thought.
I mean, when you're 6 years old and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Listen, I totally get it. I was obsessed with movies to the point where I lived in a fantasy world thinking like life was a movie. So I could very much easily get into that. Like I've been waiting to find my group of gang to stand, like get my monster squad together to fight off the evil that's going to come because it's going to happen one day type of shit. So I understand.
Yeah.
Good old monster squad.
Oh man.
Yet another one. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Okay. Just gonna
keep throwing some pop culture references at her.
I feel like the super common ones I know, but I don't know. Anyway.
These are kind of obscure. Like not a lot of people know what Monster Squad is, and I'm sure not a lot of people know what Splash is. They're 80s movies.
Yeah, they're 80s movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen Monster Squad.
It's good stuff. Actually,
at least you know what it is. That's awesome.
I mean, I like wherever. Okay, this is just the weird Christy coming out. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Bring it out.
But like wherever I go, I always think of like, okay, if there's a zombie apocalypse that's going to happen right now, what is your plan?
I'm with you.
Always.
Oh, this is why we're going to get along really well.
I was telling people, and I got acupuncture once, and it had to be all over my back because I couldn't move my neck. And so I had to take my shirt off, and I was like laying there with all the needles in my back. And I just sat there and was like, oh, what if there's a zombie apocalypse? If I move, will these needles go in deeper? Where can I hide? Where can I go? I'm going to hide up there. I'm going to move that tile over there. I'm just going to crawl into the wall. It was terrible. It was not relaxing at all for me.
That's okay. I'm gonna let you guys bond over that one because I don't understand.
So I'm gonna say she has issues with not being in control. She likes to be in control of situations, is what I'm getting from these stories, though.
Yes, it's one of the reasons why I don't drink, because I don't like that fuzzy feeling of not being able to make decisions. Yeah.
Okay.
See, she's going in deeper with this. I mean, I just think it's great. I have like a machete hidden over there. I have a hatchet over there, and then I have a baseball bat over here, and then over there is a golf club. All throughout my house, random weapons. Just got to be ready at all times.
So zombie fighting weapons.
You sleep in bed with like your knife.
I'm ready. Got my Daryl Dixon vest hidden in the closet. We're good. I'm ready for this apocalypse. Bring it.
That's so funny.
Oh, that was a Walking Dead reference, Annette.
I was like, it has to be some zombie movie actor person, whatever, TV show. You're good. I'm pretty good at filling in the blanks to kind of follow along in the conversation.
Well, you're a smart woman. I think,
exactly.
You can put the pieces together.
So, Christy, what was like? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was like looking at your planters behind you.
Oh yeah. This is like a dining room. Like this time of night, the dining room I feel like has the best light in my house. So I just brought my laptop down here, and that's where I'm sitting.
Well, what's
A
going
whole like
on?
cabinet
She
full of
wants to know
plants
about your
behind me.
plants. Like,
I know what kind
I've
of
got a
plants
whole
you have.
cabinet of plants behind me.
I love it.
oh, and on top, look at that.
Yep. And then the fish tank is over there.
Oh,
Have you tried growing anything in your fish tank?
So I tried for like a minute. And that was like right before my water turned like green.
Oh.
And so I took all the live plants out and like cycled the tank again. And I said, we're going to stay like artificial from here on out.
Okay.
So I must have done something wrong. I don't know what, but I don't care to battle a 29-gallon slime green
no.
tank. So
No.
we just keep the fake pretty ones.
I have a fake tree over there, and everyone's like, "Oh man, your fiddle leaf is looking good." And I was all, "It's fake."
The only plant in my house is flake. Yeah.
So I have one, and like I feel like for every step forward it takes like 2 steps back. Because like right now it's got like new leaves, and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. But then it did that last year, and like half of them just fell over the winter, and I'm like, you gotta grow, man. You gotta grow.
Know. They should be called fickle leaf figs because they do not like any change. It's frustrating.
It's like you looked at me funny. Leaves fall. Dude, get your act together.
I just want to see a video of you guys talking to your plants at night, just like tenderly, like just grow. Just grow.
Don't do that.
Mama loves you.
Maybe I should try that. Isn't there studies that show that like plants respond to positive reinforcement or something?
I think I did read a study on that.
Maybe I'll try that. So, Christy, what are you working on these days? I know you're doing some reno stuff in your place. And
so I had water damage years ago on my downstairs bathroom. And so I started renovating that. But then it was just a lot of water damage. And then I don't know if you heard about like the 12 atmospheric rivers. Actually, there were more, but 12 of them were significant in in California alone. Like we got so much rain that it basically, like if you look at some of the lakes and stuff that were at 14% or 25% capacity, it went to like 125% within one season. I mean, that's a lot of rain for California.
No, you guys were getting hit.
Yeah. And like the infrastructure, especially in LA, are just not catered to that much rain. And so no matter what I was doing, it was just coming straight into my house because my house is like at the bottom of a hill, and it's half, like maybe 3/4 of it is underground. And so nothing, like whoever built this, my house was also built in 1956. And so it was just coming in. Every time I repaired it, it would just come right back in. And I was like,
so
okay, I am not catching a break. And I was like, okay. But at least like it was at a point where when I was fixing something, I could, it wasn't at the end where like I'd have to redo everything at once or everything all over again. It was like at a point where it was still salvageable, but it was just like to the point where it was just like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to wait until I can actually like assess the situation from the root of the problem, which is my house is partly underground. And so now I have to excavate everything before I can actually do anything. So now the bathroom is on hold until I can actually fix that situation. But excavating in like a tiny area is just really expensive. It's like certain machinery that you need to use. And so it's just been frustrating. So I've just put a pause on that until I can figure myself out and just have the mental capacity to deal with it now. So then in order to do that, I like started working in my fireplace as like to distract myself. And then now I don't want to do the fireplace anymore. I'm just tired.
Are you putting in a new fireplace or are you redoing an existing fireplace?
It's not really a fireplace. It's an indoor barbecue grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just refacing the front of it because I just didn't like the way that the original builder built it. And so I just wanted to make it a little more cozier. I don't know.
Okay.
So I
More
like
your style.
Yeah, exactly. And it just feels like it was just very dated back then, or whoever built it. Like it was just very dated. So I wanted to give it just a little update. And then but I'm overthinking everything again because I'm like, oh, I got to do this. Oh no, but then I got to do that. Oh, then I have to do that. And I'm like looking all around the house, and I was like, okay, I have to fix the whole bathroom before I can finish, and that's just driving me crazy.
So
What's the? Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
I was gonna say basically she's immobilized herself from overthinking. Like I've done it. You just
You have a
yourself.
phrase you use. It's like productivity something.
Productivity dysmorphia.
Yes. Tell me more about that.
Okay, I remember. Okay, so I don't know if you know Ben Uyeda, but he mentioned it on Twitter one day, and I was like, productivity dysmorphia. Like he mentioned it, and then people were like, "What is that? What is that?" But he never commented back on what it meant to him. And to me, like I follow all of you, and it is so wonderfully inspiring and motivating to see all the beautiful work that you all each put out. But it's also very crippling to me because I feel like I'm not doing as much or learning as much. And so I kind of like shut myself off and don't want to do anything because I'm not mentally ready to do it yet. And so then it's just me constantly thinking like, I'm not doing enough. And so that's where like the productivity dysmorphia for me comes from, because it's like a mix of that and also imposter syndrome. And so it's just hard for me to gather. And I was talking to Eric Curtis about it, and he's all like, I was telling him, I was like, I wanted to do an experiment because there are some times where I'm just, if I'm not going to post anything about it, because it's just something that I need to fix, I do it right away. And it's like easy on me because there's no added pressure from social media and like having to make things perfect. It's just something for you that you need done. Because
and you're not stopping, you're just getting it done. And
You're
it feels
just
so good. Yeah.
Exactly. So there was like my duvet cover was broken and like I needed to fix it. And I just went and started cutting. And I was like, as I was cutting, like halfway through, I was all like, well, there's no going back. And I was like, what do you mean no going back? I can sew this, it'll be fine. And I was like, why can't I apply that to making? Because I can't just go and start cutting a piece of wood without me like breaking everything down of like, oh, is it going to turn out okay? What if I mess up? Like, what are people going to say? Is it going to look stupid? And all these like negative thoughts just come into my brain, and then I stop myself. But then without the social media impact, and it was just me doing something because I needed something done, I just went ahead and did it. And so now I was like, okay, what if I just don't do anything else about the fireplace and I just do it for me? Will that work? Will I get it done? So that's my science right now to see if that'll work.
Okay.
Mentally. I don't know.
A lot of my big projects in my house, I tend not to film them. Well, first of all, because my husband will come help me, or my dad as well. And then once there's other people there, it is so hard to film, and they just want to keep moving, or the camera's in their way, or this and that. It just becomes like a hassle. So it gets put away. You like this deck project where we're redoing our deck, right? And it's like, I'm out there working, but you won't know it because in all the video, it's just me quickly grabbing the camera. I'm like, picture of my dad, picture of Mike, and then I'm like back to work. And like me, I like my hand moving for a second. I'm like, that's all we're getting on this. Like the deck's just magically gonna appear.
It's so hard. I mean, do you guys ever feel that way where you're just like, do you feel the pressure, or is it just like something that I'm battling on my own?
I know if I'm storying like crazy and I'm doing things in real time, I do feel like pressure. It's like, all right, so I'm about to go and I'm going to carve these like leaves real quick. and hopefully I'll get this done by this. And then like, I'll put a deadline on myself. Like, and then I'm like, oh God, what'd you just do to yourself? So then, yeah, you're like, okay, all right. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go. And then like, I have to like get myself and like go. I think it also motivates too, though. It's like, I said I was going to do it. So let's go do it. So there's like that double edge. I don't know. What about you, Annette?
I think I'm all over the place a little bit. Like it just depends on what else is going on in life because like there are times when I will just like plow right through and record or don't record and just get stuff done and make decisions and just move forward with things. And there are times when it's like I can't decide if I want to paint this blue or black, and so I'm going to put it aside for 3 months because like I don't want to get it wrong.
I have that too. And I know it's just paint, but at the same time, like I'm gonna have to live with that. So
you don't want to redo it.
What I've taken to doing is just crowdsourcing it and letting it go. Like crowdsource it, whatever the poll says, I just do it and that's it. Right? Like and
Good
that's
for
the
you.
end. So I'm like, you know what? Just
I would say I feel like when you do that and they vote for the one that you don't want, like you kind of like helps you out though too, because you're like when you're so angry they didn't vote for the one you want, you're like, well then I know what I really want. Like and then you gotta go for that.
That's something that I do with flipping a coin. Because if I flip a coin and it tells me like, okay, I have to do this one, like it really tells me like, but I really wanted the other one, and so then I'll go with the other one because I know in my heart that's what I really wanted.
And it's like, nope, no strings attached.
You know,
let's just make
I
these
try
decisions.
if I'm gonna toss it out there for people who vote on or decide, like very rarely will I like say, no, I really wanted to do that. Like usually, like when I put it out there for that, like I truly,
it's truly you have
I just need to take that decision off of my like mental plate and let it go. So I just go with whatever it's at.
I have to make some color choices, which is hilarious that we're talking about this because before we came down here, me and my husband were pulling like all the siding off of the top of our deck and around the house, and we're putting up shiplap. And then he's like, okay, so what colors are you going to do it? And I'm like, And then I said a color. He's like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay. So now we're like,
interesting.
I'm like, we got to make this decision like within a couple days. So I'm just like,
what are your options? See, I love making decisions for other people. I will make decisions for you.
It's hilarious because I told him that I'm like, I'm gonna just ask them on the podcast. Listen, I'll send you guys a photo and we'll discuss this afterwards, and we'll all just vote on this because I don't have a visual to show you, and I don't want to be like, oh well. But right now everything is charcoal and my house is yellow. Just FYI,
Okay.
I'm putting a charcoal deck on a yellow house. It's a pale yellow. I hate it, but I don't have the money to replace that. So only the little portion of where I actually hang out is going to be a color I like. I'm assuming it's going to be weathered oak. I'm going to be honest. It's just going to be some kind of weathered in between. Adds a little brightness to my very dark charcoal.
Yeah, I think the charcoal will like contrast almost anything nicely, right? Like even the yellow, I'm like, I kind of like that combo, but
exactly, it works.
We'll see the pictures.
Yes. Look, she's like excited to make a decision.
I know.
I am. I love like decisions for other people where I have like no stakes in it all day.
Yes, exactly. Man.
All right, it's gonna happen after the call.
Christy, what's your favorite project you've like done or worked on? Because I know you do like some acting as well, I think.
Wait,
or making
project that I've
she's
made
played a dead body before. I know that.
All of the above.
Dead body was so much fun. Oh my god. Except it was really hard. And like I should have been a stunt because I had to like keep falling onto a concrete slab and like hit my head on it, but not in a way where I'd crack my head open and be a real dead body.
Delicate balance there.
Yeah.
How still do you have to be when you play a dead body, or do they like visually correct any movements?
No, I like held my breath for so long, and I am not one to hold my breath because whenever I watch TV or movies and I'm like seeing someone swimming, I'm always like holding my breath and like dying within like 10 seconds. But the guy, I remember like as soon as I knew that they were jiggling this like thing to like have me fall out of, I was holding my breath and like made sure to like land in a way where like, because there was lighting up above me, to where like my eyes wouldn't flicker because you could still see kind of like the light hit through my eyes. So I was like leaning over this way so that the camera wouldn't see. And then just not breathing. But the guy kept messing up his lines. And I was like, get together, I'm holding my breath. And then after they're done saying their lines, the director always like pauses for a beat or two before he yells cut, just so that they have like a clean definition of a cut. And like as soon as they were done, I was like, dead, did you? But yeah.
I'm just dying because as she's saying the guy was messing up his lines, or like the corpse makes an audible sigh noise. Like
it's terrible, but it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. But are you talking about like favorite project that I've done making something, or favorite project of something that I've filmed?
Any or all of the above.
My favorite was Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Say more.
That was, and I'm not even really like supposed to even talk about it, but F them.
Scandalous.
So much fun.
Juicy detail. Oh, nice.
It was like I had to go in and they like tested my hair so that they could find a wig to like match my hair. Then they had to like go in and like test the makeup to make sure that I wasn't allergic to anything and that the color would look okay on my skin. And then you have to go in and like put on all the costume, make sure the costume looks good. And then I came in and like they timed it from like putting the makeup, putting on my hair, putting on my costume. How long did that take? Because there was going to be like 200 people on the set that day and they needed to time everything. But there were 15 of us that were like full legit costumed on with like full legit full body makeup. Yeah. So mine took like 2.5 hours to do, and I had to get approved by like both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and like all the producers, and we just lined up there and they shined all these different lights on us and are like, okay, that looks good. Oh, we should add this.
I just see her sitting there like this, like just cheesing.
I was just sitting here like, they're like, okay, we need you to wait for the director to approve, and I was like,
okay.
Do you mean Jon Favreau?
Hello, yes. Mr. Favreau. I couldn't hear her either, but I didn't know if that was just because she was freaking out so much, you know?
Oh gosh. But yeah, that was my favorite project.
That's pretty cool.
But my favorite build project was probably the she shed.
We were looking at that earlier.
Yeah. Only because like I think it was the first time like I really had to test myself. It was prefabricated, but I'm like, when you're a 90-pound, you know, like 5'1" person building it on your own, that's a lot. My arm span isn't very spanned wide. It was very hard to like lift thing, and I was like, oh crap, my hammer's all the way there, and I have to like set it back down, run over, go around, like put it back up. God dang it. The nails are over there. I got to put everything back down. Climbed up on the roof, and then all my nails spilled down.
The stuff people don't see.
Oh, wow.
It was terrible.
What made you decide to build a shed? Like, what was the inspiration?
It was just, I needed a place to, because when this was during 2020, so I needed a place to house all the tools, because I turned the garage into a gym and never used it. So but all the tools needed to go somewhere, and so it just went in the backyard, and so I started building the shed to house all the tools. But then now it's just like, it's hard to go back there because it's so disorganized, and it's creating too much chaos that I don't want to even look at it right now. So I need to like have mental clarity and go over there and be like, okay, cleanup time. Christy, do this.
Nice. Yeah, that's
you
tough.
Need that right project to inspire you to do
exactly.
that. Like that's how I like, for me, it's like, okay, let's go. You're about to make something cool. You got to clean up your shop. Like, get in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I love an organized mess, but right now, like when everything is too disorganized and it's just chaotic, like I can't focus, because I'm like, all I stare is like, okay, that one pencil should not be there. I can't. But if it's a, like still kind of like usable space, but it's like an organized mess, like it's fine. But it's just when there's just it's it's just too much. I'm like, okay, there's too much here. There can't be too much here because there's just too much everywhere.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's cool. So what are you looking forward to working on? Like what do you want to do, try, learn, all that fun stuff?
I do. What do I not want to do is the question. There's so many things.
I know so much how you feel.
Annette does everything. I do think she understands.
I do.
It's
like
so
painfully aware.
hard because I get so distracted, and it's like I need horse blinders to like just focus on the task at hand.
Yep.
Because I'll be like doing something and I'm like, you know, it'd be really cool if that door was not there. And I'm like, no, horse blinders.
So I started using this app called Todoist, like, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And I was reading about it. And one of the things that some blog or website I was reading tells you to do is like, when you have those thoughts and you're in the middle of doing something, because before I would like stop and go research whatever that was and like go down a different path, right? And get totally distracted from where I was. But like one of the things I'm trying to work on is like, okay, the thought comes, I don't want to lose it. I'm going to create a task for myself to like go take care of it later. And just the act of like, all right, it's in a box. I'm going to find it. I've got a reminder. I won't lose the thought if I don't go like chase it right now. Helps me, not all the time, but most of the time, kind of stay on what I was doing before and like be able to set that aside without like freaking out that I have to go do that right now. So you might want to try that.
I like that because there are times when I feel like before bed or in the, you know, once I wake up, I start writing things. It doesn't make any sense. It's just whatever thought that is in my head, I like write it down. It could be like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Oh my God, I have so much to say. And just like start writing everything down. And I just feel like it's the act of like taking it out of my head and putting it somewhere. And now it's just like all that chitter chatter is out and I can now focus. And that has been a while since I've done that. So there's probably why there's a lot of like ping pong bouncing around in this little noggin here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so important to write down those things though that come in your head. I don't do it enough either when it comes to like just like thoughts. Like I'll have like the most brilliant ideas, like so many ideas that we've all lost because you don't write it down. It's like, damn it.
Yeah. I have this book and it's called Half-Assed Ideas. That's what it's labeled. And I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Is it? It's so like a journal or an actual book called?
It's like a journal. But like each page, or there's like each page I started writing like, okay, living room. And like I'll write everything that I want to change in the living room. I'm like, okay, laundry room, everything that I want to change in the laundry room. It was like so smart. But then I was like, oh, it'll just be like a couple things around the house. It's my entire house. So now it overwhelmed me. And I was like, okay, what can I do right now that'll just make me happy at this moment? And so, right, because I spend a lot of the time in the kitchen. So I'm like cooking, or like that's where I like to hang out because it has a lot of natural light. It has a lot of it has all the food. So that was like the fireplace was the thing that like it kept bugging me every time I walked by it. And it was because like they painted on the ground and I hated that so much.
Like stenciled or just paint?
No. So like, you know how when you have brickwork and then there's the drywall on the side, right? The wall. When they were painting the wall, they painted onto the brickwork, like just slightly. So it was like, you could tell that it's all messed up because it was like drywall, paint over on the ground. And I was like, why would you do that? Why? Why didn't you use tape? Like,
right? Or like one of those board, you know, like a piece of cardboard and you get a clean line kind of thing. But
I was so mad. So like every time I walked by, it would just drive me insane. So like that's why I started working on that. And like as I started doing it, I was like, oh, I feel like there's a lot like lifted off of my chest now.
I know that
besides the flu. But yeah.
Literally.
It's amazing though, changing like the color or fixing stuff like that. Like seriously, it is like
It's because it gave off of like a yellow or a pinkish tone sometimes, and it was just like driving me crazy. And so now, like that I'm seeing things a little more neutral, I'm like, oh, this is calming. That's nice. Is that what normal feels like? Okay.
Lighting is what does that for me.
Right.
Although I had to stop asking myself, what was the question you said just now? Like, what one thing can I do right now that would like make this space better? And for a while there, the answer was like buy a plant. So it's like, all right, just go buy a new plant and put it in here and buy a new plant. So I was like, okay, no more. You got to stop asking that question.
I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 dead plants around me right now. Like a sun, I'm like, maybe it'll revive. No.
It might be a weed. So before you go like too far down.
Oh, that'd be sad. Oh,
man. I was gonna say again, all my plants are fake.
And beautifully so.
Yeah, that's my first scroll saw shaped rose.
Oh, I love it.
It's down here. I don't know what to do with it, so I just threw it on a stand.
Like, there you go.
It's part of the podcast background for now.
Background.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
Let's just hiding the mess behind the plant and the flower. Really, let's be honest, ladies. There's paint out there, all kinds of brushes.
I don't know. It looks pretty clean. You haven't seen my garage.
Oh,
I just lately. Oof.
Oh yeah, you're struggling there.
So bad.
I was showing you downstairs, but it's. It looks
Is it
like
the one that needs to be excavated?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like,
you might win.
It literally, you know, like it's like the reverse version of that TikTok thing where like people take something and they like throw it and close the door and then it's all nice and pretty. No, it's just the bomb went off in that room.
It's the aftermath.
Yeah. And I just like put a blanket over it. I'll deal with it later.
Nice. I like that strategy.
Like that's why only this is clean. Everything else is shoved into rooms and closets.
What's your dream acting gig? I'm kind of curious. Like, what would you really want to be in? Like The Mandalorian again, or is there something else that you have your eye on?
I would love to do anything in Star Wars again. But I've ticked off every single thing on my bucket list.
Awesome.
So I gotta do Marvel. I was in Doctor Strange. I gotta work on Mandalorian, so Star Wars, and I gotta work on Westworld. So if they could get me on House of the Dragons, I don't know what I would be. I'll be a potted plant if they'll let me. But yeah.
You lost me on those last two, but the first two I at least know what those are.
House of Dragons is the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Okay. And Westworld, what'd you say? Westwood?
Westworld,
what's that?
It's that like it's not dystopian, right? No, it's like a future...
I kind of was going to that word, but yeah, it's I think it's like a future type of show. I don't know. I never watched the whole thing. That one I couldn't get down with. I was like, I have to think too much.
Yeah, it was I don't know how to describe it, but there's like a world where people go to, like, say Disneyland or something. It's like
Get away
land,
from reality.
Yeah, but you're paying like thousands, if not millions of dollars to like live out your life. Yeah, like where you dress up and cosplay at something and just live your life. Like, I don't know.
I always want to be a gunslinger in a saloon, and like then you get to go and like live that reality.
Yeah. So I did like the one section where like they would go and do safari tours and like they actually never hurt any animals because all the animals were fake. So they could still do their trophy hunting, but not actually harm any animals in real life. But that was the only thing that I really, really liked about it. But I got to work on that show, which was because the first season was amazing. So I got to work on the very last season, very last episode. So that was really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that you had a list too of like different goals that you want to hit. Yeah.
There was like a list. I was like, okay, I have to work on this. I got to work on Glow. That was another good one that I
That's a cool show.
On. Yeah. Glow was like the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
based in like the 80s.
Yeah.
They all like
Okay.
spandex, crazy spandex, crazy hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't think a lot of people can say they've like hit their bucket list of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's
So
pretty
it was
cool.
just,
Congrats. That's awesome.
thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I love that. No, that is cool. She had a goal. She went for it.
I did. Now, if I could only apply that to finishing the stuff around my house.
Yeah, you get to it.
There is that such great satisfaction when you make that to-do list of things that you need to get done in the house and you like check it off and mark it and you're just like, oh yeah, I did that.
It is so vast. Like I totally get like where you're getting stumped. Like I have one of those lists and we've been working on it. The deck is on it, hence why we're like knee deep in that one right now. But it's also got like fill in the mortar on those front bricks that keep bothering you every time you come in the door and you see that there's mortar not in there. Like stuff that could take 5 minutes and you're just like, just get that done. And then like go put the mold wash on it. Like it's a lot. And it's so I understand the struggle. Like home ownership's no joke.
It's
a lot of work.
Because you're your own landlord maintenance person. You're just you can't call like, hey, my sink's broken, can you fix it? Like, no, like you don't have that. Okay, I gotta take a sip and then I gotta go pee.
Awesome.
I like the realness. I like the honesty.
Hey.
Go for it.
That's funny. That's why, like, when I haven't been like religious about drinking water for a while,
it's because of that.
I try to like ease into it because that first day, because sometimes I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna drink like, I don't know, 8 glasses of water starting tomorrow. And like I drank only 1 glass today. I just spend the whole day in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, this is not very productive. I'm
laughing because we're talking about her giant water, but I literally bought 1 water. And then I go, you know what? Just in case I'm thirsty, I brought another water.
Backup water at nice.
Because I have podcasts too long where I've just chugged my water and then I'm like, oh, I'm thirsty. And there's like 30 minutes left and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think you as the host, you can't get up and be like, I'll be right back.
And I'll be right back.
That's where, like, if you had commercials, like,
right?
Like after these messages.
And now for a message from our sponsor, Sabertooth Power Carving. Sabertooth has just released 7 brand new kits for your Dremel, rotary tools, and your die grinder. There are the sanding sleeves and now a new 1/4-inch shank variety kit and 2 new kits in the Whisper. Have I said kits enough? I don't know. But you can find those at sabertooth.com. And as always, you can use NIGHTCARVER10 in all caps to save 10% off your purchase. All right, back to the show. We were talking about bathroom breaks.
I was going to tell you, like, I was recapping what you were saying about how, like, when you're walking by and you hate the mortar thing or you hate, like that one little thing that you wanted to do, but you just don't have time. So, like, I have a lot of those all around my house. And so I wrote them all down and I put them all in a jar. I told myself, so like, smart. At least like once, like maybe at least once a month or twice a month, pull something from the jar and see can you do it, please.
I like that.
So that maybe I could actually try and get something off of my like brain that's just like, hey, are you going to do that? Hey, are you going to do that? But I have not opened it yet because I've been doing that. So.
You know what? Why don't you open it and pick one right now? And you have to do it in the next like 2 weeks.
That's a great challenge though, because you're kind of at a standstill right now.
Oh goodness.
Annette,
me out.
I like it.
Okay.
You showed us your little dirty jar of secrets.
Please be a good one. Please just organize my desk.
Oh, that's actually a nice, easy one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I can do that.
We haven't seen her desk, to be fair, so don't assume.
I'll send you a photo.
You know what? It must be that bad because it's on the list. You're right,
Okay.
Annette.
Because it's like not just my desk, it's also like my makeup stand area, but it's everywhere. And then one of my cats decided to pee behind the wall, and I've been like cleaning that up. It's just not pretty.
Yep. This is a good goal for her. She needs to resolve this. This is gonna
Okay.
the
I will
calmness.
do this tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay. I was giving you 2 weeks, but okay.
Okay. I will not do this tomorrow. I will do this Wednesday through Friday, somewhere around those days.
All right.
Wait, when is this gonna air?
It'll air next week. So by the time your episode airs, how's that?
I will show you a before and after picture on the day it airs.
Done. You're
I like
on.
it.
Yeah.
I would say it would be airing on a certain day, but I've just been releasing them when I can release them. I've gotten to a new level of stress-free on my part.
Good for you.
Thank you. I released one on Thursday maybe, and then I released another one on Saturday. I was like, hey, here we go, 2 in a week. Enjoy.
Why not? I feel like life is too short for some of these like artificial deadlines we give ourselves. Like
every Sunday at 5 a.m. there must be a new episode. I was like freaking. I used to get like anxiety, like, but every Sunday I post one at 7 a.m. Like people are waiting for me. You know what I mean? Like,
do you do YouTube videos too? No,
I put these on YouTube, but like I haven't. I have a video I filmed of me carving and painting a Ninja Turtle all through all the steps. I had it almost fully edited, and then it got lost. Like it errored out, and I have this. It was like I haven't made a YouTube in forever, so I'm going to dedicate time for this. Like I still have all the footage. I could re-edit it, but it's I lost 3 or 4 hours of editing, and it makes me want to cry because like it was so nice. It was good. It was like I explained each step, like how to do this, what kind of bits I'm using. Like I went into details, and I'm like,
yeah. Oh,
that's rough.
No.
It is.
And you can't find it anywhere?
Well, I have all the footage, but like it was done in InShot, and like it must have archived some of the footage, and then it just errored.
No.
And once it errors, you cannot just go in and replace that file because you have no idea what it was. So you're like, it's rarely happened to me, but like that just hurt so bad. I was just like,
but it's that one time where that happens, and you're just like constantly saving.
Yes.
Saving,
oh
saving.
my God. So now every time I get a video almost all done, I keep exporting it just in case I've got a fresh export to edit again. I'm like, yeah. I have so many duplicates. You totally called me out on that. I have been like, because it's been like 2 months, and like it was, again, I post so much, like my get artificial deadlines. I'm gonna have this video ready on Sunday, and then Sunday came along and I didn't have time to edit it. I'm gonna have this Thursday, and then like the time I finally got in there to finish the edit, it was done. I was like, I just went quiet. I'm like, no.
I feel that happened to me. I forgot what video I was doing, and like it got all, it's like something happened with the sound, like all of it got deleted, and I couldn't get it back. Like it's just the sound just disappeared from everything, and I was just all, that's cool. So I gotta like redo all that, and then I was like, so then I started redoing it, and
it becomes a big problem because you've already done it now, and then you're like angry at it because you've already like it, like what you did was done and it was good and you liked it, and then it's like
so now it's like everything's just in an angry tone.
Yes.
Now I'm doing this.
And now I trace the image to the wood. Like, I didn't want to.
That's like, that sounds like the extreme version of like losing a witty caption that you just wrote on a post in Instagram, and then it just like wigs out on you.
It hurts. I know. I've had that happen.
I hate when like you think of something that you're gonna do, and then you open Instagram and you completely forget what you were doing.
You start scrolling like an idiot, and you're like, what was I doing?
And I was like, why am I here? Like I was in my room and I was like scrolling through Instagram, and I'm like, okay. Why did I go? And I just sat there for like 15 minutes on, but then I came, where did I come from? Oh yeah. And then I'm like back on Instagram and it's like cycled over again.
Cycle again. Hey, at least you remembered at some point what it was, because usually when I get there, it's gone.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called. It was like something new door phenomenon. I think that's what it is. It's like when you have something in your head and then you walk into a new room and then you completely lose it because you're just like, you see a whole new vision, like a visionary of what you're seeing now is like different from what you saw earlier from when you were thinking of that. And so you lose it. That is there a word for Instagram or TikTok? Because the minute I pick up my phone, I'm like, Instagram. Dude, gone.
Yep.
And I'm like, that was a good idea. I don't know what it is anymore.
That's funny.
Having to do social media, I mean, I love doing it, but like doing it for Workbench Con and Sabretooth, I have to go in there and do like work related things for them. And I open it up and again, where am I doing? I'm just scrolling. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to track this. I was supposed to look up this person and see if they posted this or use that tool. Or I'm like, so I understand. All day. Misdirection all day. It's like, where am I going?
I need to do that thing that Annette was talking about, like writing it down and like, okay, I will tackle that later because I am like just everywhere right now, as you can see.
So another tip, and I've been researching this a lot lately. The other thing I was reading about it, someone told me. Anyway, one of the things I would have problems with was like, say I'm sitting here, we're chatting, and I said, oh, I've got to go upstairs and like, I don't know, get a book. I'd start walking, go up there. By the time I get there, I completely forget why I was there, right? Or what I intended to do. And like just totally gone. And I'm standing there, like you were talking about just now, Chrissy, like I don't remember why I'm here. And the thing was saying, like, before you make a move to go do whatever it is, to say it out loud. Like it has to like leave your head.
I'm getting the stapler.
Exactly. Like, okay, I got to go upstairs and get, the stapler before you go do it. And then you're like more like there was some percentage more likely to actually recall and do it when you get there. Because like I would, I'd peek in this room, get distracted by something else, add another mental note. By the time I get to where I was actually going, I forgot the original kind of intent. But like I've been doing that like the last couple of days, like say it out loud and it helps. I don't know how long it's going to help, but that's another one that's like been useful.
That makes sense because there was a study about how some people, for them to retain information, if you repeat it out loud, like you're explaining it to someone, it actually like enters in a longer section of your brain for memory. And so like when something really cool happens to me, or I'm trying to remember a conversation that I had with someone as I'm driving home and I'm like being an idiot and talking to myself, I'm talking about the conversation that I had and it like retains back in my memory, which is so strange that I can remember all these weird things that happen, like conversations I've had. What I wore my first day of high school, which was 25 years ago. First day of high school. But I can't remember, like why I came into this room.
Yep.
I hate my brain sometimes.
No, it's all of us. We all are wired this way. I walk into the closet and I'm like, why am I in this closet? What am I getting? Like, what was the purpose? Like,
or like if you're sitting in front of your closet and I'll just be like, I hate that. I think I want to change it. And then you're just sitting there imagining all the things that you would do and distracting yourself from the actual thing that you're actually working on.
Yep.
We're doing good.
Are we?
Are we all around the same age? Is it a certain age you hit?
I was just gonna ask that, like, is it an age thing, and like did generations previously go through this at this stage of their lives? Right?
I'm 41. I'll say it out loud. I say it all the time. Like, so maybe it is. Maybe I've hit that part of my life.
I mean, I'm 39, so I'm not that far behind you.
So
it must be an age thing.
So okay, it's an age thing. We've decided.
We've hit that level.
But it's so funny because I'm like thinking about like when my parents were this age, did they do what I do right now?
We also are addicted to our phones. We all have like adult ADHD and come on.
That is true. But there's like, I don't have any kids, but I have a lot of pets. And there'll be times where I'm like, when I was growing up, my dad would try to call my name, but would go through the list of all the children. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tiffany, Christina. That's what I would get. They would just say all three of us.
Whole list. Yeah. Sometimes the pets before it even gets to me. And I'm like, what? It's Christy. How can you not know that? I get it now. I get it now. And also the whole like getting excited about a new appliances or like things that like water pressure.
Ooh, this hotel has great water pressure. How exciting.
The little things in life is just so funny to me. And I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yep. Yeah, it's so.
Or like lingo that like Gen Z speak about. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. And I'm like, I remember I was with Charlie. I don't know if you guys know her, Build and Create Home on Instagram. And so we were talking because like her kids they're young, they're teens. And so I remember we were looking at something on TikTok and I was like, I have no idea what they're saying. And she like looks over and she's like, oh, and she like translated the whole thing for me. And I was like, how? She's like, that's how my teens talk. And I was like, what the? I'm at that age now. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't understand the songs anymore. And I'm like, this sucks. When did I get this sold?
I think I'm at the age, and I embraced this like a few months ago when I find like I could not tell you what songs are popular right now because I'm listening to the same mix from like the early 2000s.
I was literally just going to ask that. Are we also listening for music from our early 20s?
Yes. I mean, like So Def Jam remix are still on my playlist.
It's funny though, because like if you like, I guess in my mind, old people always listen to like old music, but old music from what was old when I thought I was young is like very different from like if I think of like the stuff that I listen to when it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, today, and I try to fast forward like 40 years from now or 30 years from now, and like you can imagine like a retirement home and like I don't know, Cash Money Records from the 99s and the 2000s comes up and everybody's like
got the canes in the air.
I was told myself. I remember when I was in 7th grade when Gangsta's Paradise came out. And I remember like rapping to it and I was like, I'm gonna be that old grandma on my porch rocking in her chair singing like as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And they're like, Christy, why are you thinking about that? I was like, I don't know. I mean, this is our formative year. Well, I didn't say that. I was too stupid to say formative at that time.
Well, this is our formative years, of course.
These are jams. It's cool beans.
It's cool beans. The best part is my audience is pretty much probably our same age group, so they're gonna enjoy that reference there. It's cool beans, guys.
Yeah, it's so cool beans.
Too funny.
Life was so simple back then. Parents couldn't get a hold of you. Drank water from a hose.
People weren't recording everything you were doing.
Exactly.
You weren't recording everything you were doing. Although I kind of was when I was younger. I'd be that one filming shit all the time. I always had a camera.
When you guys got your first cell phones, did you like record your voicemail up to the radio to like try and catch it?
No. Oh, to make your own ringtones? Like, were you making? Okay, I got you.
No, did not do that.
Oh man.
I bought my first cell phone because I was going to college and I didn't want to break down because I had an unreliable car. I didn't want to get stranded on the sideway of the highway. Like I was the first one to like get one in my family because I'm like, I'm going to college and I am not gonna be getting stranded, and thank goodness I did, because my car broke down a lot.
Nice. What kind of plan did you have? How many minutes? How many texts?
I believe it was Singular Wireless. So it was like the
Nice.
real old school.
I remember Singular. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But can we talk about how the Nokia was just like the most brutal phone? Like you could toss it against a brick wall and it would come bounce back at you in your hand and like, hello.
Still works.
Yeah. That's too funny.
Singular. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you change your antenna so it lights up every time someone called?
No, that's fancy, but it totally had a pull-out antenna. Or maybe it had that really stiff one that just stayed out all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Retract.
Call me after 9. I don't have any more minutes.
Oh my God, no, but seriously, it was that. I'm on a family plan, so like there's only a certain kind of minutes, or like you ask your friends, like, do you also have Singular? Do you have Verizon? Because you're like, you didn't want to go over your limits. Yes.
Yeah, I think my first phone was prepaid. I think it was like a prepaid phone. I don't remember what it was. I was like, okay. It ran out of minutes. You have to go like buy a card.
I know. Like, don't call me anymore. I'll just meet you.
Oh man.
Those rollovers, it never rolled over.
Nope.
Oh, well, this is fun. I don't feel like we learned much about her past. We'll get there another time, I guess. You got to come back.
Oh, yeah. I'm always down. But I will get this done.
Yes.
Oh, it ripped it. Yes.
Yep.
Organized.
No, I like
it's recorded.
This. All right.
It's
so
recorded.
when I'm editing it, it's going to be so fresh in my head too. So it's good.
I was gonna say, I may forget once I stand up on this chair, but Tiff recorded it and she's got the recording.
I gotta read through this. So
I'm going to organize my desk. I am going to go into that room and take a picture of how crappy it looks.
Oh, please.
Now. Amen. Say it out loud.
And I will send you guys photos of the deck and we can color too. Okay? We've got plans. All right, ladies.
Hopefully next time we talk, I'll actually have a project done.
I have faith in you. You got it.
I do too. And I'm sure Annette will be learning some brand new skill the next time we chit chat, because
and not completing the list of things I have. But hey, it's all fun.
That's how it goes.
Right. Awesome. Night, great chatting with you guys.
You too. Nice hanging out. Bye. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Christy a bit more, and always nice to have Annette back on the show. If you want to help support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/makerconversations for as low as $3 a month. Okay. Have a great day, and thank you for listening.